Nobody shows you this part. They show the goals, the trophies, the celebrations frozen in perfect frames. What they don't show are the nights when confidence cracks. The moments when silence feels heavier than applause. The failures that don't disappear, they stay. Cristiano Ronaldo knows those moments well. Because long before the world called him a legend, failure introduced itself first. Failure comes before greatness, always. The truth is uncomfortable. If you've never failed, you've never pushed hard enough. Cristiano didn't avoid failure. He met it early. Often. Publicly. And every time it happened, he had a choice. Protect his ego, or rebuild his character. Most people protect their ego. Ronaldo rebuilt. The first failure no one talks about. As a kid, Cristiano cried when he lost. Not once. Not twice. Often. Coaches noticed, not because he was weak, but because he cared too much. Teammates mocked him. Opponents laughed. Adults whispered, he's too emotional. That was his first failure. Not technical. Not physical. Emotional control. And instead of denying it, he learned from it. Failure didn't make him quit. It taught him restraint. Failure is a mirror. When Ronaldo left Madeira for Lisbon at 12 years old, he failed again. He failed to fit in. Failed to speak like others. Failed to feel at home. Kids laughed at his accent. They laughed at his clothes. They laughed at where he came from. Failure showed him something brutal. The world doesn't adjust to your feelings. You adjust, or you fall behind. So he adjusted. Quietly. Relentlessly. Not good enough, yet. At Sporting CP, Cristiano was talented. But talent wasn't enough. He lost duels. He got knocked off the ball. He made mistakes. Older players exposed him. That failure hurt more than insults. Because it questioned his dream. And that's where most people stop. When failure threatens identity. Ronaldo didn't stop. He added work. Failure without excuses. Here's what separated him early. He didn't explain his failures. He didn't blame coaches. He didn't blame teammates. He didn't blame luck. He blamed preparation. And preparation can be fixed. This mindset would define his entire career. The big stage, and a big fall. Manchester United. A dream move. A global spotlight. And then, embarrassment. Fans called him flashy but ineffective. Pundits said he had no end product. Opponents targeted him physically. He was fouled. Kicked. Provoked. And when he failed to deliver, the criticism was loud. This wasn't private failure. This was global. The moment most people break. There's a moment every high performer reaches. When effort doesn't match results. When criticism outpaces progress. When quitting feels logical. Ronaldo stood there. And he made a decision that would change everything. He stopped seeing failure as proof of weakness. He started seeing it as data. Failure as information. Missed goals became patterns. Losses became lessons. Criticism became feedback. He analyzed himself ruthlessly. What was missing? What was slow? What was predictable? Failure stopped being emotional. It became technical. And once failure loses emotion, it loses power. Why this story is different? This is not a highlight reel. This is a manual. Because setbacks don't care who you are. They will come. The question is not if you fail. The question is what you build from it. Some failures happen in silence. Others happen in front of millions. Cristiano Ronaldo experienced both. And the second kind leaves scars no one forgets. The penalty that never left him. Euro 2004. Final. Home soil. Everything aligned. Then Greece scored. Portugal lost. Cristiano Ronaldo cried on the pitch. Cameras didn't look away. The image traveled the world, a young superstar broken in public. People mocked him. He can't handle pressure. He's too emotional. He disappears when it matters. That failure followed him for years. When failure becomes a label. One loss becomes a reputation. Every missed chance confirmed the narrative. Ronaldo felt it. Not just from fans. From teammates who hesitated. From media that waited for collapse. From opponents who believed he would crack. Failure became an identity others tried to assign him. And identity is dangerous when it's defined by outsiders. The World Cup pain. World Cup. High expectations. Heavy pressure. Then controversy. Whistles. Hostility. Blame. Portugal exited without glory. Ronaldo walked away not as a hero, but as a villain to some. Failure had turned hostile. And hostility tests character more than defeat. The mistake most people make. When failure hurts publicly, most people do one of two things. They retreat. Or they attack. Ronaldo did neither. He isolated the emotion, and focused on the process. He didn't argue with the narrative. He outworked it. Failure forces evolution. Critics were right about one thing. Something had to change. So Ronaldo changed. Decision-making. Positioning. Finishing. Strength. He stopped playing to impress. He started playing to dominate. Failure forced him to evolve, not aesthetically, but efficiently. Pressure doesn't destroy, it reveals. High-pressure moments don't create weakness. They expose it. Ronaldo saw where he broke. And instead of hiding it, he trained it. Penalties. Late-game situations. Mental routines. Failure became rehearsal. Redeemed, but never forgotten. Yes, he would later score decisive penalties. Yes, he would lift trophies. Yes, he would silence critics. But he never erased those early failures. He carried them. Because forgetting failure creates arrogance. Remembering it creates hunger. Why this part matters. Public failure is the hardest kind. It attacks confidence, identity, and belonging. But it also gives clarity. Because when you survive public failure, private doubts lose power. Failure isn't always public. Sometimes it whispers. A tight muscle. A nagging injury. A body that doesn't move like it used to. For Cristiano Ronaldo, the whispers started earlier than most expected. When your body becomes the enemy. Muscle strains. Knockouts. Fatigue that won't quit. For an athlete, these are terrifying failures. Because they're unpredictable. They're permanent. And they are not in your control. Ronaldo learned quickly, talent alone cannot conquer time. You need discipline. Patience. Relentless adaptation. The narrative of decline. The media loves stories of decline. Ronaldo is finished. He can't keep up. He's too old. Every headline was a test. A test of pride. A test of focus. A test of mental strength. And instead of breaking, he reprogrammed his approach. Failures that teach longevity. Aging athletes fail in subtle ways. Slower recovery. Longer rehabilitation. Diminishing reflexes. Ronaldo faced every limitation head-on. He adjusted nutrition. He adjusted training. He adjusted sleep. And every adjustment was informed by the memory of past failures. Because failure teaches faster than success. When fear of irrelevance hits. Imagine being at the top. Then imagining a future without the spotlight. The fear of being forgotten is real. Ronaldo felt it. He trained extra. He pushed harder. He reinvented his body. Failure here wasn't defeat. It was motivation disguised as anxiety. How failure builds resilience. Every injury healed. Every aging setback managed. Every doubter silenced, but not ignored. Ronaldo's failures forced him to plan, adapt, and anticipate. That resilience became his secret weapon. It's invisible on the pitch. But it decides careers. Failure is a tool, not a curse. Most people see injuries, age, or criticism as stop signs. Ronaldo saw markers. Markers to measure improvement. Markers to build strength. Markers to redefine what's possible. Why this part matters. Failure isn't just a lesson. It's the most brutal teacher. It challenges confidence. It challenges identity. It challenges longevity. And the way you face it determines whether you crumble or dominate. Failures will come. It's inevitable. But they are not the end, they are the blueprint. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't let missed goals, public criticism, or injuries define him. He let them teach him, shape him, and push him further. Every setback was a step, every mistake a lesson, every challenge a chance to evolve. Failures didn't break him. They made him stronger. And the message is clear: what doesn't destroy you becomes your most powerful tool.